Sanmonani guys, welcome back to yet another video, and we are speaking about the ultimate girls trip SA. Now guys, this latest episode was filled with so much drama, some necessary and some unnecessary, but one thing I'm gonna say before I go on to give my review about the episode is that for a change, I was glad that the whole episode was not centered around Ulatol. Now, like, don't get me wrong, I love Lassie, I love her diary stations, but it was starting to get boring when every time when there's like something going on, Lassie's like Mother Teresa, as they would say, like I enjoyed an episode where it was kind of like, it was not really, but kind of like an all-rounder where we've got to see like everyone being the center in a sense, even though like, yeah. But anyway, the episode starts off where it left off last week, which is where Liz was basically crying over the comments that Bev said. But I want to talk about something that Bev actually said. So Bev eventually went to Liz and tried to apologize. Then the next day, she asked Liz to take a walk with her, and then they went boat rowing or whatever you call it. And then they wanted to, well, the intention of Bev taking Liz out is to basically speak, apologize, and make sure that Liz understands that it was not coming from a bad place. But there's something that Bev said which I thought was so raw and honest, you guys, and I think it's quite commendable. And even though it's not an excuse, it's a reality for most people. And that's where Bev said that she's been programmed to think a certain way. And she was saying she knows it's not an excuse, but that's just the way she's been programmed. And I think, guys, I think when it comes to white people, yes, they have their own assumptions about us, but if we are being quite honest, guys, we've also got our certain assumptions about white people that some of us grew up with. And some of those assumptions we have to, we have to kill them and we have to unlearn them. And to prove that, in the trailer of next week's episode, we see Crystal saying she grew up with traumas. And Liz's comment on that is like, what traumas could you have grown up with? You are white. And I thought to myself, but you were crying over Liz saying something that seemed as if it was racist and it was an assumption that she had of you based on her knowledge of, of colored people, and colored or people of color, and then you go and say a comment that is based on, your assumptions on white people. Because the truth is, guys, most of us, most black people or most people of color, we believe that white people did not go through any traumas because, I mean, they got to experience the better side of life as opposed to us. So that's how I was saying I appreciate Bev's comments because I feel like there's so much honesty in that, you guys. And yes, it doesn't give it an excuse of why people say certain things or do certain things. But I feel like the moment we come to reality or we come to this realization, then the easier it is for us to actually get help. And it's not only white people who have that assumption about black people. There's also black people that have assumptions about white people that we need to just crush down. I guess that's the power and the beauty of friendship and forming bonds, that there's certain things we get to learn about one another. So I truly do hope that out of this experience, Bev leaves with something that she has learned. That's if she really is serious about, unlearning certain things. Yeah, but Liz ended up forgiving Bev because it does look like they are friends. But it then made me also question, is that maybe the reason? Because Bev said that her father would not even allow them to bring back like an Afrikaner man. So I guess maybe the father only wanted them to date white people. And yes, I know within the white community, guys, there's a difference between a white person and an Afrikaner person. For me, it was just like, there was a time I was just like, this is the same thing. But to them, it's really not the same thing. But it made me think if maybe that's not the same reason of why Bev seems to have something with Mel. I don't know what it is, but I feel like Bev is so curious about Mel. And I'm thinking to myself, is it because you feel threatened in a sense because she's also a white girl and you don't feel threatened by the other ladies because they aren't white girls? I know Crystal's a white girl, but I mean, I feel like Crystal, falls like Crystal doesn't really fit the description because Crystal is Crystal and she's special like that. But Bev, you can see Bev is a woman that takes care of herself. Maybe I don't know. She's used to being in circles of white people where she's the center of attention, and now she's coming to meet another white woman where that white woman seems to kind of be physically looking better than her. So I don't know if that really might be a thing of why she keeps like picking on picking on Mel and why she seems to have a problem with Mel, whereas like I don't really know what it is, or maybe she's just fascinated by Mel and fascinated by the way Mel looks or fascinated by Mel's life, and that's why she's always asking about her, or I don't know, but there's just something there. But then it looks like they did work things out, or it does look like they put things behind them. This is in regards to Bev and Les, and yeah. And Les eventually got to forgive her, I guess, and also mentioned that she doesn't like being put into the spark. She doesn't like that race conversation. And listen, I can respect that. That's that. And then, guys, the ladies are having breakfast at the villa and they are seated on the table, and they busy talking, and not Mel, Liz says something that I'm just like, Liz, like, why are you being so nasty? Because one thing about Liz just laughs off a lot of things and she's not really nasty, but I felt like she was a bit rude to Crystal this time around. And she was basically saying to Crystal, I would never want to be like you. Because Crystal made a comment about like her wanting or people wanting to be like her. And Liz basically said, I would never like want to be about you, like one night stand and don't like basically just kind of like making a mockery out of Crystal's situation of how she met a guy, how she went on Tinder while she was on the trip and met a guy. And yeah, Liz was basically like, no, like there's nothing cute about that. Quite frankly, like it's childish. And Crystal, made a speech, not made a speech, but said something, and I'm just like, wow. Crystal finally speaks and makes sense. But that's one thing I've noticed about Crystal, you guys. Most of the times when she makes comments, you laugh at her and think, Wuti, like maybe there's something that's a screw that's missing upstairs or something. But when she does get serious and she does speak, she really does speak a lot of sense. So while she's speaking, while Crystal was trying to speak, everyone was speaking over her. And even Bev was like trying to say like, guys, like, Crystal is trying to speak, like just give her a moment to speak. And Crystal was like, this is why you don't give your pearls to pigs. And you could see, you know what, the funny thing is that at times when people don't understand parables, when people don't understand sayings, they're so quick to take offense. And I think that's the same thing with Mel. Because they didn't understand the memes, they were so quick to take offense. And basically, she was explaining the don't give your pearls to pigs basically means don't take something valuable that you have and give it to people who are not going to value it. And I thought that's so true. She went on to say that sometimes don't even explain your situations and things to people that you know are not going to value it because they're going to take that very same information and use it against you. And I mean, that is the same thing that Les was kind of doing, that she was taking the piece of information that Crystal gave to them. Because I mean, Crystal could have went to go and do her stuff in the side or on the side. But there Liz was taking that information and basically trying to use it against her, or trying to shame her for it. And Crystal was basically saying we all women, we can all be rude and we can also all be amazing. So let's see the amazing. And that's the thing that kind of like makes me kind of struggle with why these women can't respect one another. I don't know if it's a power dynamic or what, or pride, because I'm just like, all these women are great in their respective fields. I don't get to say, why must you come to a trip and then want to disrespect someone else? Yeah, like I don't get it. Like you guys are successful, in inverted commas, you guys are successful in your own field. Like, why can't you be enough with that and respect yourself and respect other people? Because for me, when you go around disrespecting people that you don't know, throwing around jabs, for me, it's like, do you have an insecurity that you're kind of projecting upon the next person, or wanting to feel better about yourself? I don't know. But there's also another thing that I noticed, that Ulitabo, when Londi London, someone was saying something and Londi London basically said, not today, Satan. And Lataba didn't entertain it. She didn't look offended. She didn't say anything. And I'm just like, okay. But when Mel said it, then it was a big issue. Now, I guess, guys, for some people, it really does matter who it's coming from. I know a lot of people are just like, Litabo just has a problem with Mel and whatnot. And I'm like, I don't know about that, but I kind of get and sympathize where Litabo's coming from. For an example, there's certain things that when they are said by Black people, you excuse them in a sense, because you just like, you kind of don't expect them to be saying that from a racist. Obviously it cannot be racist because they from the same race as you, but you just know that it's not coming from the same place because they are the same race as you, as opposed to having the same thing being said by another race. It just doesn't land well, because like maybe with the rats thing, and because the rats are associated with being dirty, with being white, and already Black people, there was a time, and still is a time, where white people considered Black people as being dirty and all of that. So I can understand, you guys, why Uletabu did not take it well when it was coming from Mel, as opposed when it was coming from Ulondi. And I just need to clarify that, because maybe people don't get that. And maybe you receive it better once you get to know a person, and maybe get to know that Mel is not racist, which we don't know. But for me, I don't perceive Mel as being racist. Maybe you get to receive it a bit better once you know the person. But if you've not had a good experience with the person already, the moment they say something like that, your mind jumps to that. So that's me trying to explain that what Ulitabo, like, that's the reason why Ulitabo might, that's my reason in my head of why Ulitabo might have not taken what Ulondi was saying as personal as when Mel said it. Okay. And then the ladies go out for a night in Jamaica, and yeah, like the vibes were flat, the party vibes are flat, and people were like, Londi should sing, and Londi was like, okay, I'm gonna sing. And one thing I wanna say is that I want looking forward to Londi singing. In all honesty, my personal opinion, when Londi sang in the Lost franchise, in a Housewives of Durban, Real Housewives of Durban, I personally feel like Ugel can't sing. Ugel can't sing, and that's even why I don't get why was she even laughing at Crystal not being able to sing, whereas for me they are in the same boat. They both can't sing and they both believe they can sing. Like I don't know what to say about Ulondi, but I've got like I don't want to say a love-hate relationship, because I don't hate her, but I guess saying you have a love-hate relationship doesn't necessarily mean you hate a person, but it means it can be on and off. But yeah, I've got a love-hate type of relationship with Londi, and I'll tell you why. Londi is entertaining. When you watch her diary session, she's entertaining. The sarcasm is just on another level. I love it. But I feel like there's kind of double standards when it comes to Londi, which I kind of like don't appreciate. And quite frankly, I'm just like, I feel like Londi has like these vibes of like one thing can double standard vibes basically. I'll tell you what I mean. Firstly, before I get to tell you guys what I mean, I don't appreciate one thing about Londi. And I think maybe it's a Zulu thing, so it's a tribalistic thing that I have with Zulu people. And I know it's not all Zulu people. It's rude to be in spaces with people and to continually speak your language, whereas you know that some people within that group do not understand your language. I think it's very rude, and I think Zulu people have been doing it, continue to do it, and quite frankly, it's not funny and it's not nice. If the white girls came in there and they kept speaking Afrikaans, we were gonna take it as in like they being racist. Like, why are they doing that? Because other people don't understand Afrikaans. Or if Ulitabo was yes, Litabo does that. Now and again, Ulitabo does that, you guys, but at least it's not as much as with Ulondi. Londi and like I need us to explain that it's not that Ulondi doesn't know how to speak English or she doesn't know how to articulate herself in English. She just chooses. And I guess maybe it's a habit. But you guys, it's a habit that you need to be conscious of because other people, it's just not fair. Even Latongo gets to do that, but Ulatongo, before Londi London arrived, it was a lot better. And Latongo, at least she tries. But ever since Londi London has been there, whenever Londi London starts speaking isiZulu, Latongo hops on and does that same thing. So I don't like that, and I'm just like, it's rude. So yeah, that's one thing I don't like about Londi. And then when they were at that I don't know what to call it, that outing of theirs on the beach or whatnot, when she took the mic, she was like, "I'm going to say Sanbonani, and you guys are gonna say Yebo." And I'm just like, and it was just so awkward because no one responded to her. None of the girls responded to her. No one in the crowd responded to her. And I'm just like, for me, it is just giving vibes that it was South African girls in Jamaica and they thought they were like the special ones. I personally, guys, I don't like it when people do that. I hate it, quite frankly. I hate it when tourists come to South Africa and then they want to give vibes as if we as South Africans are honored to have them visit our land, and thus they want to be like, I don't like that. Like, you came to a country to enjoy yourself and leave us out of it. So I felt the same thing that the South African girls are out in Jamaica and then you come in with Sanbornan King Sanbornan, like Sanbornani Pelelale in KZN or Le in South Africa, but like to come to Jamaica and then want to come to feel spit and you want to feel special. You want the crowd to give you guys attention. Like, people are there for their own things. People are there for their own vibes. People are there to eat, have their own fun. Like, now why should they be like entertaining you guys and then you guys want to say the energy was flat? Like, no, you guys create your own vibes. So that I didn't like. So she's like Sanbonani, and then she's like, when I say Sanbonani, you guys say Yebo. And everyone just kept quiet. And I'm just like, please, leave that to inquiry zenu zale eThekwini. And I'm not trying to diss her, but I'm just saying that um, this is an international trip, you guys. And I feel like the fact that she has had an international trip like this should open up doors to other things. And if you are going to get opportunities, international opportunities, at least be open-minded to other people's tribes and other people's spaces, either than your own tribe and either than your own language. That's that. And another thing I don't like about Ulongi, I feel like she throws subliminal jabs. She can say things about other people and laugh at other people. But when tables are turned and that's being done to her, she is so quick to be defensive. If you've noticed, even on the Real Housewives of Durban, there's nothing that you can ever come for Ulondi for. Because the moment you come for her, Ugel gets angry, Ugel gets like nothing. But yet she can throw jabs and say subliminal things about Nonku's drinking. I mean, she said something about Nonku's drinking, about being drunk, and that was fine. But when Nonku could say something, I know we can't compare the two things because it's like on different scales. But like my point being, she can throw like subliminal jabs. She can be sarcastic towards other people, and it's a joke and it's funny because it's Londi London. But when tables are turned, all of a sudden it's personal. I'm just like, you need to chill. You need to chill. And if you're going to be throwing jabs towards other people, then at least be willing to take it with a pinch of salt. So that's like one thing I don't like about Londi. And that's the double standards that I feel about her. I feel the same thing of Ulatongo, but at least, yes, like Kongo throws jabs there and there. Yeah, but also when it comes to her business, the only difference I feel like Ulatongo doesn't really throw jabs in people's businesses, maybe in a diary session, but she doesn't like ask questions like about people trying to get to know something based on what people said or based on rumor on the streets. No, she will ask you based on whatever you are saying or giving her at that moment. But Ula Kongo is also another one that doesn't like to be asked in Dabazak. And I'm just like, guys, like really, this is reality TV at the end of the day. Like, can you guys stop being like defensive so much? So that really like annoyed me with Ulondi London. And I know people have been coming for Unongu about Unongu, what Nongu did. Yes, Nongu was a bit shady, not a bit. She was a lot shady with what she did to Ulondi because I mean, you asked it off camera. What's the point of asking it on camera again? But one thing about Unonku, guys, that I need us to understand, Unonku, guys, when she goes, she believes that she is reality TV gold. And so every time she's on reality TV, she's going to stir the pot and she does it on purpose. She keeps saying outside of, camera that, guys, this is just a reality TV and it's for fun and it's for entertainment. She keeps saying that. So I guess Unongo doesn't mind being the villain. She doesn't mind trending. She just enjoys being the reality TV gold that she believes she's in. And I guess that's that. What else do I want to speak about? Yeah, that's basically it. The Last Supper where the girls were having their Last Supper in Jamaica. All the girls are just looking dapper. They are looking good. And we are going to hear next week about what gets to happen, but it seems like there's going to be more drama to this whole table talk that's going on because Nonku decided to start something that we all know really does not work out, which is where you go around the table and say something good or positive or good criticism, as they call it, about people. And we know that does not always turn out good because already when she came to Ulondi, London, tables were like Londi London was hitting tables, raising her voice, and yeah. I'm gonna park it there for today. Tell me, what did you think of this episode of the Ultimate Girls Trip SA? Please do make sure you like the video. Please do subscribe. It is absolutely for free of charge. And I'll see you guys on the next one.